Helo a chroeso I Gofyn Pro YsCWL. Da ni'n lwcus iawn I gael Jay Green yma heddiw I atab cwestiynau am ei yrfa. Mae Jay wedi bod yn rheolwr cwmni i'r cwmni Phil McIntyre Entertainment yn gweithio ar YsCWL ar daith y sioe o'r Deyrnas Unedig ac Iwerddon. Mae wedi bod yn cynhyrchwyr yn y West End ac yn genedlaethol, a hefyd yn gyfarwyddwr ar South Bank yn Llundain.
So the answer to your question is there are two totally different jobs. Company and stage management, company and stage management and stage management are completely different. Company management, you are really looking after individuals. You're structuring personnel. You're responsible for things, everything from payroll to scheduling, to meetings, to communication, to unraveling problems. Technical stage management is the granular nitty-gritty of getting that show on. And they are very different jobs. You don't need to be technical to be a company manager, but you need to understand how the technical stuff works. The busiest show I ever worked on was probably the last one, We Will Rock You. It wasn't the busiest because of what goes on in the show. It was the busiest, and this is really interesting, I suppose, for me, and it is for you, but this is the busiest show I've ever worked on because of the schedule. So it was a show that really was designed for 3 lorries and a 1-day get-in. But then when the designers started work, they forgot to speak to other parts of the team, and it ended up being a show that needed 2 days to get in and 4 lorries to travel. So we would get in on Sunday afternoon and Monday and open Monday night, run for a week, 8 shows, and then pack it up Saturday night and go. So there was no room, there was no space, there was no opportunity for any slippage. And so that was the busiest show because of the overall structure. And we were on the road, supposed to be on the road for 9 months, ended up for 6. But during the show itself, because we had good teams, there were moments where it was very busy, but there were also moments where I could breathe, have my takeaway, catch up and do some bits and pieces. So the busiest show is rarely the busiest one that's busiest on stage. It's usually the busiest one operationally. Hope that makes sense. The answer is 52. No, there's more to it than that, isn't there? 52, and it's worth looking at the split there. So that's split between 26 in the cast, 24 in the regular crew, 2 in visiting crew, and then between 5 and 20 venue crew that we'd come across. So there may be 70, 75 people coming across your desk in a week. So that's a very short space of time to establish some important relationships. So you have to be quite good at seeing the structure of that organisation of people. So I guess company managing suits a mind that can begin to look at the holistic structure of the personnel. The cast require quite different looking after and energies to the technical crews or the production crews. It's very important you make relationships with the local crews, the resident crews, when you get to each venue. And I think that ability to somehow just find 1 or 2 things to say to each person that makes them feel seen and understood, just on a casual basis once or twice a week, it's really important. Well, let's turn those around. Yeah, company management, you probably can't go straight into company management from college or university because it does require theatre experience, all-round theatre experience, and a bit of life experience. How do you decide what you want to do? I've got a secret for you, kids. Nobody generally does that. I think one of the few people who do that are often actors. But most of the world falls into the job they do. Life happens while you're fooling around, you know. So before I got into company management, I taught theatre, I've directed, I've produced, I've written. I've never acted, thank God. The world has been spared that pleasure. But I've stage managed, and then company management is almost like the final job to tick off, because you require an understanding of all the other bits and pieces. But more than that, you need an understanding of humanity and people and how to get the best out of a large team while under intense artistic pressure. You don't. You get in contact with someone you know and you say, please can I shadow you for a day or two? I had a couple of people contact me and they were supposed to shadow me at the end of the recent tour that got pulled. And I think that's a really good thing to do, to shadow people, and you'll get a sense of how crazy the job is. Friends of mine have come to stay with me for 24 hours on the road, and they say, hey, we'll just hang out with you. And they can. And they, after sort of 24 hours, they go, this is madness. This is like clinically insane, because it's so intense and it's so busy. So the answer is, if you want work experience, please contact Emma Joyce or Venue Cymru, and they'll forward your thing to me. And the next time I go out on the road, I'll give you some work experience. And the old rule applies. It's what I say to actors. Look at someone whose career you want. Look at someone's CV. Find a company manager and think, okay, they've done 3 or 4 shows of the kind of shows I'd like to do. Do you want to do big musicals? Do you want to do cutting-edge contemporary theatre like Complicité or Knee High? Do you want to do, commercial West End comedies? Find someone who looks after the kind of shows that you want to do and write to them. Can I recommend any courses specifically to get you into stage management? No. I think it's too broad a question, so let's look at it. There are a lot of good drama schools. You know who they are. Look at the Confederation of Drama Schools. It's obvious who they are. There are a lot of good stage management courses, but they're often quite different. Look at the syllabus. They're all online. Find one that suits you. Look again at the CVs of people whose work you want. Look where they went. But again, it's about getting experience, isn't it? We've talked a bit about that. All I would say is, if you qualify as a stage manager or a technical production person or any one of those roles, if you specialise in that, you will get work, because unlike actors, there aren't enough good ones. There's a bigger point here, isn't there? How you overcome pressure in your life. If you can't overcome pressure, you shouldn't go into the theatre, because it's intensely in the moment, it's live, and when things go wrong, they really go wrong. So, a show stop, or an actor's injury, or someone being assaulted in your team, all of these things happen on tour normally when you take people on the road, but how do you deal with that pressure? That's nothing to do with theatre and work, is it? That's to do with how you hold pressure. And I think the most important thing is, can you look yourself in the eye afterwards and say, I did my best. If I made a mistake, can I learn from it? And I think one of the things I learned is, you don't beat yourself up. There's no point. Things, you can't get everything right all the time. Things will go wrong. There will be conversations you think, you know what, if I'd handled that differently, we wouldn't have had this. But I'm telling you, the way to do it is meditate, do yoga, and don't eat crap. Those 3 things will get you through most things. Meditate with a good app like Calm, or what's that one I've got here? Hold on, I will just tell you. I use Calm, and I've deleted the other one. And have a good yoga technique, something like the Wim Hof method. Very good. Emma got me onto that, and I'm 6 weeks into it. It's fantastic. You can do that on the road. And also, what you put in your body will allow you to deal with things. Don't eat McDonald's. Eat fresh food. Don't eat processed. Eat fresh food. Drink lots of water. Mind out on the alcohol and substances. And you will be able to deal with pressure, because it's not something you can ignore. It comes with a job. So if you can't deal with it, don't do that job.